I visited the TOHO factory in Hiroshima Prefecture in Japan back in 2017. As a retailer of TOHO beads, I asked the wholesaler if I could get a contact at the factory to secure a tour. I knew it wasn't easy to do, but luckily this lovely guy, Kwang, we were in contact quite a bit, and he arranged a visit. So he picked us up from the hotel in Hiroshima and guided us on a train and a bus to the factory. Since our visit, there have been major changes to this complex, but when we were there was a quirky mix of different styles of buildings, and they had gift shops and exhibition areas that were open for all of the public to visit. However, the factory itself is not open to everyone. You need an invitation. So this sign on the main road is beads in the display, and it says Glass Village. Even the bus stops had seed beads embedded in them, and the garden displays were also full of beads. But on to the main factory buildings. I apologise that all the photos and videos are in portrait mode, but at the time I took them for my own personal use. I still think it's interesting though. The first building is where the glass is created from the raw ingredients in kilns. They actually use Australian sand in this factory. It's very hot work and the kilns are on the go all of the time. So this slab of glass is taken out of the kiln and it's moved into this wedge shape. Looks like a special tool holds it specifically. Then it's put into that chute. Several parts of the seed bead making process are highly guarded secrets, but what I can tell you is that after the glass is placed into the chute, it comes down to a lower level, goes through some collars which create the shape, and is gradually pulled into very fine tubes of glass. And these move along these very delicately placed little shelves which contain material that helps cool the glass. These shelves are really long to aid in the cooling process. This next machine cuts those long rods into uniform length rods for storage. But at this point, some quality checks are made. Some pieces are randomly pulled out and a manual check is done on the sides, and also they are checked by machine as well. So there's 2 levels of quality check at this point. This very simple device measures the outside and inside diameter of the rods for any given size of seed bead that they're making on that day. Ingenious, very simple solution. After that, the rods are packed into these shallow wooden trays for moving to the next area, and all of the odds and ends, the bits of scrap glass, are put in these tubs for recycling, so nothing is wasted. Then they're stacked on these trolleys and they're actually moved out of this factory into the next factory along, and that is where they are stored. So they typically store them in these bundles of long glass rods until they get an order for a particular type of bead, and that might need a certain finish added later, and of course they need to be cut to the right length. Next was the cutting room, but we were not able to take photos in there. But rest assured, the rods are cut into shorter lengths and become very roughly cut beads. So this machine here shows them going into sort of an oven to have them slightly melted so that there are no sharp edges on them. They go through many processes of sorting and washing, and this machine here also grades them and pulls out any beads that are either too small or too big. So even though you might find the odd misshapen or too big or too small bead in your set of beads, they do try really hard to give them a consistent size and shape. Once all of those processes are finished, they can be sent to the room for additional coating, which we were also not allowed to take pictures in. It's all very top secret business goes on making beads. But the beads are put in bags and a certain coating might be added or a lining, and lots of technical work goes in, and it's quite a lot of processes to get the beads to the ones that you love so much. After we finished our tour of the factory, we went over to some of the other buildings and we found the place where there was the exhibition of beadwork. And this was part of one of the TOHO challenges that they hold regularly. And we were lucky enough to find some of the pieces that we knew from people, including some Australian artists as well, which was quite exciting to see. So again, a big thanks to our host, Kwong, for showing us around and doing all of the arrangements. We really enjoyed seeing how seed beads were made in the TOHO factory in Hiroshima.